This is Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge and hosted at River Street Ale House on the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield. Your weekly inside scoop on App State basketball. Mountaineer Talk is also brought to you by Pepsi. Grab a Pepsi and some friends and get in the game. Pepsi, the official soft drink of your App State Mountaineers. And by UNC Health Blue Ridge, moving healthcare forward together. Now, to get things started, here's your host, Matt Present.
Happy New Year. Happy Street Ale House. It's Mountaineer Talk, and it's our basketball debut today. Thanks for joining us here in person and across our App State airwaves. Tonight, we got plenty to bring you on the show. CJ Huntley will kick it off. We'll hear from Emily Carver at the bottom of the hour. The head coaches, as always, Dustin Kerns. And Alaura Sharp tonight makes her Mountaineer Talk debut. Any questions for them, you can get them to us by reaching out. It's hashtag Mountaineer Talk on Twitter, mountaineertalk@gmail.com, or by text or voicemail 828-295-2063. All right, CJ Huntley alongside. Happy birthday, CJ.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, I don't know what presents you may have gotten thus far, but we do have something for you right here. We'll tell the nutrition staff to look away for a minute.
Oh, wow. I appreciate it.
CJ Huntley getting a brownie sundae here at River Street Ale House.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is good.
All right. Well, you'll have to wait just a few minutes to dig into that.
Okay.
What is your growing up? What was it like having a twin birthday? You and Sierra, both App State student athletes.
Yeah.
Did you have to negotiate what the birthday party would be?
A little bit, but I'm older, so I'm older by a minute, so everything really went through me first, I guess I would say. No hate to her, but everything really went through me. But yeah, we also had a share cake, half side mine, half side hers. But overall, we just really shared everything. So.
All right. Well, you don't have to tell her about this.
Yeah, she ain't gonna know about this one.
All right, CJ, year 5 for you.
Yep.
Let's talk through that decision to come back. You'd had a couple guys who had gone through this process before who had decided to take their extra year at App State. Donovan Gregory most recently last year. What did you see in terms of their career trajectory, their development, and then what was it that you had to go through in your own decision-making process?
Just the coaching staff, I just love them. They recruited me when I was a freshman in COVID, so I just feel like in the presence here, being here, the fans, everybody here loves you. So I didn't want to leave that. I felt like that was welcoming me to come back, and just being there with Don, for my 4 years, just watching, learning from him, and then his decision that he came back and then how successful he was. I want to be the same way. So.
You talk about that process. I know you went and got some evaluation from some professional scouts, NBA evaluators. What was that process like? What did you learn from them about your game that you're looking to grow here this year?
First thing I would say, they know everything, so you can't really hide anything.
What was a random fact that they told you about yourself?
They said they talked to my English teacher.
All right.
So from in high school, so I was I didn't see my English teacher in 6 years, so it was just weird. But just overall, just teaching me, telling me to be a leader, be better on the rebounding side, so that's what I've been wanting to get better at, and just also just helping my teammates in anything I can do. So
you talk about being a leader. How do you feel like your leadership role has evolved over the course of your time at App State?
I feel like it's evolved a lot, just freshman year, learning from Justin, Forrest, Donovan Gregory, Adrian Delph, all them, to see how they led us, to that tournament that year. Just trying to take a few things from them and then taking a few things from others, leading by example, and also leading by just talking as well. So,
you talked a moment ago about the recruiting process. It was during COVID.
Yeah.
Head coach Dustin Kerns during the tip-off dinner talked about a memory that he had going to one of your early morning 6 a.m. workouts. What do you is there that moment, or is there a different moment that stands out to you about your recruiting process with App State?
No, I'll say yes. That 5 a.m. Yeah, he was there at 5 a.m. We had 5 a.m. practice, So we just got there, and then that same day, they came to my house, and we had a nice dinner and everything, and then I just committed right after that. So I already knew where I wanted to go. So
tell us, I think you've told this story before, but how did you let this staff know that you were choosing App?
So after school, I came home, they came over to our house and everything like that, and then we had dinner, and then they were about to leave. And I was like, I got one more thing. I had an App State shirt under my jacket so they couldn't see it, and then after that I just unzipped it and I told them I'm ready to come to Boone. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Fast forward 5 years now, not only have you been such a big part of this program, but just last month joined the 1,000 Point Club, 37th member in program history.
Yep.
I know it's still relatively fresh, but
Yeah.
how special is it for you to be a part of such an elite group?
It means a lot, just all my hard work and everything I've been doing, here, just paying off, and all my teammates and everything. I'm just thankful for them as well, and my coaching staff as well, so I'm just thankful.
You got a couple teammates this year that are new to App State but not new to you. Davidson Day reunion with you and Jackson
Yeah.
Threadgill and Will Coble. What has that been like? When did you get a sense that this might come to fruition for the three of you to play together again?
Well, when Jackson entered the transfer portal, and he knew I was coming back, but I didn't tell anybody, so he knew I was coming back, and I was just like, what you trying to do? We should make this thing happen again, and then. Once he committed, I just knew Will, I knew he had just graduated again from Randolph-Macon, and I just knew he also wanted to be part of a winning program as well, another winning program. So I just feel like once me and Jackson were already here and everything like that, I feel like he just had to come, so glad it happened.
I think something that probably isn't talked about a lot, but players are a big part of recruiting. You guys are the ones that host recruits on visits. In this case, they're already your friends, but what's your recruiting pitch? What have you learned as a player recruiter?
Ooh, that's a good question. I just talk about the winning culture here, just our culture. We've won a lot here, and just a lot of people just want to be a part of that. So that's just the key point right there. So,
well, CJ, it's been great to watch you these 5 years. Best of luck the rest of the way, and happy birthday.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
CJ Huntley kicking off our show here tonight at River Street Ale House, and we do want to extend a special thank you to this week's game sponsor, Saturday's game against Texas State, sponsored by UNC Health Caldwell. Thank you to UNC Health Caldwell for your continued support of App State Athletics. Head coach Dustin Kerns joins us next. It's Mountaineer Talk presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, and it continues right after these messages.
By providing services like women's health, primary and urgent care, cancer care, spine care, urology, and more. When you or a loved one receives care at UNC Health Caldwell, count on compassionate patient-centered care from a skilled team of healthcare providers. For more information on healthcare services from Blowing Rock to Hickory, visit www.caldwellmemorial.org.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, live from River Street Ale House. We're here with head coach Dustin Kerns. His comments brought to you by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. Coach, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. I give everybody a shout out here at the Ale House. I mean, coming out in this weather, it's great to see so many people out here, and certainly we appreciate it. It's great to be back at the Ale House, Mountaineer Talk.
It is, and interesting, blustery, sleety Boone evening, so certainly glad that folks have been able to make it out, and hope that everyone's staying safe out there tonight. All right, we just talked to CJ Huntley for what feels like the 15th time or something here on Mountaineer Talk. What is it like to have a veteran like him in your locker room this year?
Well, it's great. Obviously, CJ is everything that we want in a Mountaineer. He's already graduated from App State. He's a very proud graduate, working on his master's right now. He's been a part of 2 Sun Belt championships, and hopefully more, right? But he's been a huge part in our program on and off the court. He's been a guy that's been on the chancellor's list, dean's list academically. Just comes from a great family, and Chris and Andrea Huntley, sister Sierra, and another App State alum. And so CJ, from a leadership standpoint, from a play standpoint, how would I describe him? He's an everyday guy. He's an everyday guy. He comes in, he practices as hard as he can every day, tries as hard as he can every day, on and off the court, in the classroom, in the weight room. He's a great teammate. Once again, he's everything we want in a Mountaineer.
You talk about that everyday attitude and the work ethic that he's put in. You do that for 5 years. Where have you seen his growth show up the most, both as a player and as a leader?
Yeah, well, it's pretty special, as a coach. I've seen all 1,000 of his points, right? And that's pretty special, right? He just has gotten better every single year. I think, and we talked about this at the beginning of the year, last year, best year. Statistically, this is his best season. He's having a really good season. He just, coming off of another, a double-double. But certainly, scoring-wise, rebounding-wise, you could see all that hard work paying off. We're playing through the post through him a lot, and certainly playing through him in a lot of different ways. But defensively, minute-wise, it's last season, best season, and certainly I think the best is yet to come.
First career double-double on Saturday against Texas State for CJ, and we were talking a little bit with him about the fact that he's gone through this pro process, talked to evaluators. As he comes back to you and says, hey, this is the feedback that I'm getting, what is the process for you and your assistants in terms of implementing things to help him achieve his goals?
Yeah, and we've done that, and it's a true partnership, right? It's let's take all the feedback together, and let's attack this, together in the off season, but also on the play. And I really think he's doing it, we're doing it, and putting him in a good position. When I've talked to NBA teams about him, it's a really, it's an easy conversation, because once again, from all those areas, right, academically, off the court, the character, the things that they value, right? They're investing millions of dollars. They want good people. They want good players. But from a measurement standpoint, he's got all the measurements, steps out and shoots the 3. There's a lot of things for them to like. And certainly he's had a lot of highlights as a Mountaineer. And like I said, we've still got a lot more highlights to go.
All right, so you guys are coming off your first conference win of the season on Saturday against Texas State. You win by double figures, up by as much as 20 in the second half. Speak to the way the team played on Saturday and the way that this win, you hope, can propel you as you kind of finally get over the hump, coming up just short a few times prior.
Yeah, I think that, and we've talked about as a team, playing the competition that we've played, especially away from home, was going to make us better, right? And so certainly it put us in position. We played really well, played a complete game against Texas State. Defensively, probably our best game, but obviously we made 12 threes as well. And so when those things are clicking together, and sometimes those work together, right? The more that ball's going to the basket, the better, the more time you got your defense to set up, right? The more stops that you're getting, the more chance you got to get out and transition and run. And so I thought it was a complete game, a team effort. 15 assists. We out-rebounded them. We defended without fouling. A lot to like, from Saturday. And we've been playing pretty well. I think that's the thing. Like, had we been getting over the hump and a few possessions here or there and getting the win against some quality teams, no. But we had still been playing really well and really proud of our guys to play a complete game there and get the win.
One other thing I want to mention before we go to break, we talk about accolades and milestones, and certainly C.J. Huntley reaching 1,000 career points, but earlier this season, you reached 100 wins here at App State, which is pretty special. The last 5 years have been the winningest in program history, and I know that whenever you're posed questions like this, you make sure to include your assistants. But for the collective group that has been here for 6 years, what does it mean to have this kind of success, to be able to stamp that 100th win?
Yeah, I'm just a small part of it. I think that everybody, there's a lot of people in this room, fan-wise, that have been there from day one, right, that have been a part of some exciting wins, but they also been part of some see us go through some tough losses. And so it's everybody. It's our fan base. It's our students. It's guys like C.J. Huntley that during the recruiting process, when maybe App State had 8 straight losing seasons, we're trying to sell him on the App State experience and come here and then experience that and help turn the course of the program. It's so many people, right? Administration, but like I said, we've all been able to accomplish some things there and take some stairs, but there's more stairs to take.
Absolutely. Just getting started with head coach Dustin Kerns tonight on Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Mountaineers enter the alternate Mountaineer Hoops giveaway. One lucky winner will receive 2 tickets to the App State versus Georgia State doubleheader coming up on Saturday, February 1st. A Dustin Kerns and Coach Alaura Sharp autographed basketball and a $100 gift card to Alumni Hall. Go to alumnihall.com and pick up and enter App State to enter the contest. We'll be right back with Mountaineer Talk. More of it right after this.
Today we have 2 very special guests on our program, introducing Lem and Lime.
Hello.
For Starry Lemon Lime Soda.
Thanks for having us.
What is Starry Lemon Lime Soda?
It's a crisp, clear burst of lemon lime flavor, and it's caffeine-free.
Between us, one of you must be a little more important to Starry than the other. Who is it?
We're both important.
So it could just as easily be Starry Lime Lemon Soda.
No, that doesn't sound right.
Oh, I like it.
So you saying hip-hop could be hop-hip?
Works for me.
Starry Lemon Lime Soda. Starry hits different.
For over 60 years, Daniel Boone Inn has been serving Boone and the High Country delicious family-style meals that take you back to your grandma's table. Whether it's our family-style dinner with our signature fried chicken and country ham biscuits served with traditional Southern vegetables, or our classic Southern breakfast with such favorites as scrambled eggs, local country ham, biscuits and gravy, pancakes, and more, you're sure to feel right at home at the Daniel Boone Inn. So be sure to stop by in pregame, postgame, or let us prepare your next tailgate at the Rock.
Mountaineer Talk is back in 60 seconds after these local messages. This is the Appalachian Sports Network from Learfield.
This holiday season, give a gift the entire family can enjoy. A home upgrade with propane from G&B Energy. A roaring fire at the flip of a switch. An endless supply of hot water that ends the shower wars. Made possible with propane and G&B Energy. Even better, rebates worth hundreds are available on many propane installations by G&B Energy. If you receive damage from Hurricane Helene, rebates could be worth double. Visit G&B Energy to save or learn more at gbenergy.com.
Hey Mountaineer fans, it's game day, and Harris Teeter knows your party is just as important as the game. With mouth-watering wings, delicious dips, pre-ordered party platters to please any crowd, and not to mention the best pizzas, ribs, and ready-to-grill pub burgers in town. Only Harris Teeter can deliver delicious as you huddle up with family and friends to celebrate. Set a reminder to order ahead if you need party platters, and make Harris Teeter your pre-game stop before the next game. Harris Teeter, where Mountaineer fans shop for their delicious game day.
You're locked in to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge, talking all things App State basketball. Let's rejoin your host, Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Head coach Dustin Kerns alongside his comments presented by Blue Ridge Energy, powering a brighter future. All right, Coach, a tremendously successful season last year. 27 wins, a program record, NIT berth, undefeated at home. I think everyone listening knows all the accomplishments. And then in this day and age of college basketball, you have to build a new roster for this season. What goes into that journey? How do you go about it with your assistants in terms of recruiting and scouting and getting guys on campus and figuring out that ideal mix of guys that you want together for this year's team?
Yeah, it's challenging. It's almost, can change daily, right? But I think the things that make it easier is guys like C.J. Huntley, Miles Tate, return to App State. So you've got two really good players, two leaders that you can build around, right? And so, obviously there's windows, there's time frames, there's a lot that goes into the roster construction. There's, we still recruit high school kids. We still, value player development, and so we're still able to, sign some freshmen. We signed 3 this past November as well, and 3 really good ones. In Ted Neal, Jakari Brim, and Trey McKinnon, and so we're excited about those 3. And so there's just kind of this daily routine in the sense like you just kind of take a day at a time.
All right, so one of the things you did in this roster building process is you said, all right, let's get all the Davidson Day guys that won a state title back in 2020 and get them here to App State. Jackson Threadgill, Will Coble joining CJ. What was that process like for you to bring those guys together and see them connect once again?
Well, it's great, and certainly we had a relationship with Jackson through recruiting him through high school. Will Coble was a part of a national championship at Randolph-Macon. They don't have a grad school. Really wanted to do something different for his 5th year, so that was exciting, for us as well. But I think it's a story made for Selection Sunday, right? 3 guys won the first state championship at Davidson Day, first state championship in school history together, and here they are reunited again to win a Sun Belt championship together. And so, all 3 great kids from great families, and certainly, it's really neat to see them back and talk about things 4 or 5 years ago, but also, see them in different stages of their life.
17 guys on the roster this year. That's a little bigger than what you've had in years past. What was the idea behind that? Where do you feel like it's benefited you most? Yeah, well,
4 of those are preferred walk-ons, and certainly we value those guys as well, people that want to be at App State. And so, like I said, 13 scholarship, 4 preferred walk-ons there. Really helps with practice, and it helps you, develop guys. And so, I think that, in this day and age, you want all hands on deck. And so certainly when you've got some new guys, you certainly, there's so many different, variables and things that go into it with potential injuries and things like that. And so, certainly being able to have a lot of guys available is a big deal.
Question for you from our text line. What defines a quality late game possession in a close game?
That's a good question. Offensively, certainly that would just, qualify as the best shot for our team. That might be a wide open. That would be a 3 after we touch the paint. Certainly if we got a 3 in that situation, we would want the ball to touch the paint first. But also that might be the best shot at the rim and take what the defense gives us. If C.J. Huntley's involved in a pick and roll and they're really attacked to the ball, then that may be the best option to throw it up there and let him go dunk it, which we've all seen that a few times. But in that situation, what's the best shot for our team? That's what we talk about. We would want to get a 3 after a paint touch there, but also attack the rim, maybe get fouled, get to the free throw line.
I know you guys rep a lot of situations, end-of-game stuff in practice, not only for the execution, but to simulate those game situations. When you're calling a play in the huddle or drawing something up, kind of what you alluded to of finding the best shot, what are you telling guys in terms of, is there an option A and then an option B, or final parting words as you take the court in that kind of late game moment?
Yeah, certainly we have some plays and actions for specific people and specific actions. And so it may be, hey, listen, we are looking for this. But at the end of the day, players are players. Players go make plays. And a lot of times the defense is good enough where they're set, and you've got to have some just players go make plays type thing. And, CJ had a game winner here a couple years ago off an offensive rebound. And so sometimes it doesn't maybe, go as planned. But once again, players like that go make plays. And so, against William & Mary this year, that play was to example, that play was for Miles Tate, everybody to get along the baseline, for Miles Tate to go one-on-one. Well, they really helped big, and he made the right play. The kick to Dior Connors. He trusted his teammate, right? So was that play designed for a three? No. That play was designed for Miles Tate to get downhill, go one-on-one. So it didn't go as planned, but he made the right play. Once again, players making plays.
All right, that segues well into the upcoming week. Coastal Carolina on Wednesday, James Madison on Saturday. A pair of first-year Sunbelt head coaches making their first trip to Boone. Justin Gray with the Chanticleers, Preston Spradlin with the Dukes. I mean, year in and year out, we talk about the competitive nature of this conference. You just mentioned to me during the break that 13 of the 14 teams have already won a game. As you kind of scout heading into a year, what are you going through? Certainly there's a process leading up to a game week of, but what information are you taking in on this conference leading up to the season?
Yeah, and that's one thing that we've talked about with our team is, like, there's a lot of parity in the Sun Belt. There's a lot of teams that are trying to figure out their teams. And so, like last year we were able to win it at 16-2. Who knows? The year before that, I think it was 12-6. Like, you just don't know. I think we're going to, this is like a mini SEC. It's a lot of parity, a lot of competitive players and coaches, and so we might just beat each other up, right? And so, once again, after 3 games, 13 of the 14 teams have already won a game, and so I think it speaks to the volume of the depth of the league, and certainly we've got. Some really more quality teams coming in here on Wednesday with Coastal Carolina and James Madison on Saturday.
Should be a fun week. Coach, appreciate the time.
Yeah, last thing I'd like to say is our women's coach, Alaura Sharp, and her staff are doing a great job. They're off to a 3-0 start. But, get out and support women's basketball. All right, they're back at home. They've been on the road, but, App Nation, our women's team needs your support. They deserve it. They're playing really well. And so let's get out and pack homes for men's and women's basketball.
Absolutely. And we will talk to them right after this as Emily Carver joins the show next. App State Athletics would like to extend a special thank you to this week's game sponsors. Wednesday night's game against Coastal, sponsored by First Horizon, and then Saturday's game against JMU, presented by New River Light and Power. Thank you to First Horizon and New River Light and Power for your continued support of App State Athletics. We switch gears to the women's side right after this as Mountaineer Talk rolls along next.
A winning team is more than the sum of its parts. In sports.
Back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Emily Carver joining us now as we switch gears to the women's side. And congratulations, a 3-0 start to Sun Belt play. That's the best in the Sun Belt era. That's the best since the 2011-2012 season in any conference. What have these last few games been like for you?
Yeah, I think it's just a lot of fun. I mean, obviously we have a lot of seniors on this team, so we know what we want to do. When we step out on the court, we want to win. We want to have a winning season. So what a better time, like no better time to get hot than now. So we're starting conference really hot, and we're excited to see where this is going to take us.
What do you feel like has been the transition? It was a little bit bumpy through non-conference play, and then you hit these last 4 games. It's a 4-game winning streak dating back to the end of non-conference, and you guys have outscored your opponents by 63 points during that stretch. Is there one area or one message or just something that you point to that kind of resonates this switch?
Yeah, I think just the leadership that we've created on this team. We had a lot of new players, obviously a whole new coaching staff. It was going to take time for us to know each other, to be playing our best basketball. I think after we had a couple tough losses, we really came together, all the leaders on the team, and we came together, and now we're just going to continue to get even better.
You mentioned leadership. This is year 4 for you, so I know that you are a leader of this team. How has your leadership evolved during your time at App State?
Yeah, I think I'm just continuing to become the vocal leader that I need to be. I used to just try to lead by example, but I've realized that's not always going to work for me. So especially as somebody that's been here for 4 years, knows the conference, knows how it should work around here, I have to sometimes speak up when I usually am not too comfortable in that area.
But you're getting there.
Yeah.
You mentioned a new staff, new teammates, new everything. Let's go back to Alaura Sharp's hire. When you found out that she was your new coach, what were your first impressions? What do you remember about your early interactions with her?
Yeah, I was super excited. She actually offered me when I was in high school. So I had had a previous relationship with her, and also Zeta Porter, who's on the team, also was offered by her. So we were super excited. We were ready for a fresh start. You know, we've maybe haven't had the best years in the past, so we were ready for a new beginning here, and just kind of in our last season, just seeing what we can do with Coach Sharp.
What has the process been like? You have 5 returners, but a lot of newcomers from a lot of different places, building chemistry, getting to know one another, and to your point, kind of teaching them the culture that you want to embody this program.
Yeah, I think just starting from the beginning, we were hanging out off the court, even when we were on the court, just trying to build different connections, just seeing how we can translate things on and off the court, and just setting the culture early, not letting anything that we didn't want in the program slide, and just continuing to improve on that throughout the season.
Coach Sharp, in an interview I heard with her a while back, talked about the fact that you guys who had been here were a vital part of the recruiting process as she built the team through the portal. What do you remember about kind of that give and take, your kind of evaluation of your future teammates? What was that like for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, and we got to have a lot of input too, and I just think it was really nice to be able to see the really good people that Coach Sharp was recruiting and bringing into this program, and it was a really turning point for me, seeing the kind of people that were going to be recruited here and the kind of team that we were going to have.
All right. Year 4, you're a senior now. I know it's gone by in a flash. What are the things that you look back on most fondly about your time in Boone?
I think just all the relationships that I've created, not even with my teammates, but with the community. Just I'll carry these relationships with me forever. It's good connections to have in life, and I think it's something that I'll cherish and something that I've really taken away from my time here at App.
Is there advice that you give the underclassmen, the freshmen, the newcomers that you have perhaps gleaned the most from your experience?
I think just don't take anything for granted. I feel like my 4 years here have flown by, and I'm going to really miss playing basketball, but just also being around my teammates, being around this community. And so I think just never take anything for granted and just enjoy every moment that you have.
You mentioned community, and Thursday at noon you have an Education Day game. I know those are always fun, always a ton of energy. What are you most excited about? What do you think most fondly back on when you think of Education Day games?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think last year was our biggest one that we've had since I've been here. It's just so much fun to see all the kids here. I mean, half the time they don't even know which team they're cheering for, but it's just a lot of fun to have all the energy there and just a lot of excitement in the gym that day.
All right, congratulations, because you were named the Student Athlete of the Month. And in the video posted as part of that, you mentioned that when your basketball career is over, you want to work in pharmaceutical sales. Where does that interest come from?
I kind of just wanted to do something in the medical field, and to be honest, I'm not really sure. I felt like basketball has kind of prepared me to have the sales experience, the tough conversations and things like that. So I just feel like that's a place that could take me far.
All right, I like it. Conference play rolling along. Troy on Thursday for Education Day, and then this weekend against Coastal as part of the doubleheader with the men at 1, and then stick around for the women at 3:30. Back at home, riding a 4-game winning streak, 3-0 in conference play. What's the message been like in practice since, I guess, today, right? But heading into this week of games and heading through conference play?
I think just taking it one game at a time. Our coaches always say that this game is the most important only because it's the next one. So I think just continuing to take it day by day. Don't treat practice any different if we've won or we've lost. Continue to go in there and work hard every day. Well
said. I like it. Emily Carver joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. Thanks so much, and go get them. Again, that's Emily Carver. The women, Education Day Thursday, and then on Saturday at 3:30. And that Education Day game against Troy, sponsored by Food Lion. So we want to thank Food Lion for their continued support of App State Athletics. Stay tuned. Head coach Alaura Sharp makes her Mountaineer debut right after this.
Host Matt Present.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk. Thanks for being with us here on this Monday night from River Street Ale House. Head coach Alaura Sharp alongside for the first time. And coach, let's go dive right into things. You guys are 3-0 in Sun Belt play. That's the best mark that this team has ever had to start Sun Belt action. It's the best that this team has had going all the way back to the 2011-2012 season. What has the transition been like for you in the season where you start off a bit bumpy and Emily said it during a break, you guys are getting hot at the right time?
We definitely are playing pretty good basketball right now, and I'm just really thankful for our team of staying bought in when it was really ugly and kind of dire at times. And Emily and I were talking about this earlier, sitting at the table, is, I kind of had told them that motion offense and the way that we're trying to play on both sides of the ball just takes time. And I really need you and some of the other leaders on the team to help me keep everybody bought in while we're trying to figure things out. And there's definitely been some moments in our last few games where we've played really high-level basketball on offense and defense, and there's still so much inside of us that we can continue to grow and get better at.
You talk about Emily, and she mentioned the fact that you had recruited her previously, that there was an existing relationship there, but you also mentioned the word buy-in, and I know you've talked about having to coach players that didn't necessarily sign up to play for you. Take us through the early interactions, whether it be with Emily or the other returning players, and what those conversations were like.
Well, I remember sitting with Emily and Rylan in my office one day and just kind of asking them some different questions about different things about app and people on our team and in our program, and took them through the locker room and just kind of said, what would you like to see in here? And the first thing I did, I feel like, is I just kind of listened and learned a little bit about the program and about the needs of the players that are returning and the wants, right, of them. And I think just kind of opening that door to letting them know that I am a relationship coach and somebody that does appreciate feedback and lean on the players to help me lead and build things. But I mean what I said about those players have signed up to play for me and how they have interacted and how they've gone about themselves. And, I heard Emily talk about how she used to always lead by example, and that's a challenge that we've put in front of her, that she can do so much more than lead by example. She can bring people onto her level because her work ethic is intense and amazing every single day, takes no plays off, and that's how you want your team to be. And so it's really important for other people to level up to that work ethic.
What has she meant to your team this year in your first year at App State?
Everything. Obviously I wanted her a long time ago, and so going
better late than never.
Yeah. Huh? I wish I had her. I tell her sometimes I wish I had her for more than one season, but just how she goes about things, how she loves on everybody. She's a little bit motherly, being a senior and helpful in guiding the younger players. But more than anything, her and the other seniors are motivated to win and are willing to do what it takes. But we tell every single recruit that it's the person that you are more than the player that you are. And, she lives the core values that we want to continue to bring in players from character, from work ethic, coachability, leadership, how they represent the program and how they buy into player development. And so it's just been good to start a foundation of what you really want the program to be. And we've had a great group of returners to help us do that.
Take us through what your process was for building this team on the fly. You get hired in early April. That's not a lot of time to figure things out and have a roster ready for November. What were kind of the initial steps in figuring out where to go and where to look and which players would ultimately be the ones you bring in?
Well, I think the first best decision I made was to bring my staff from Presbyterian, and we were already kind of on some kids. We were able to get back in on some players that had told us no. Emily Heggie is the perfect example of that. I tried to sign her out of high school to Presbyterian, then tried to sign her out of the portal to Presbyterian, and then finally was able to sign her here at App State. And so that's kind of a fun story that we laugh about. But just getting boots on the ground first. You can't do it by yourself in assembling a roster, because the amount of film, the amount of hours that we spent on who to offer, when to offer, what positions do we need, because you've got to evaluate what you need, but you also just got to go start getting the right pieces. And this program isn't for everybody. We really want selfless players that are willing to share the ball and move the ball. I mean, we had 20 assists on Saturday, and we're going to celebrate all those things as a program, and we want to be first in the conference in assists per game. And so that kind of basketball isn't for every single player. And so just trying to vet players out. Obviously we dug into the high school. We brought Hekla from Iceland, who was already committed to us at Presbyterian. And obviously I was familiar with Zoe McCrary from when I was at Louisiana Tech. And so I had recruited her a little bit. She came on a visit there. So I already had a relationship with her. And just piece by piece, person by person, I feel like we assembled the right crew.
Well, you guys are certainly getting hot at the right time, and we'll talk more about the season you guys are having when we come back. But first, a timeout. Hey, Mountaineers, make sure to check out App State's online MBA, which allows you to earn our nationally recognized MBA from wherever you are. Check it out online at mba.appstate.edu. More with head coach Alaura Sharp right after this on Mountaineer Talk.
Adrenaline.
Welcome back to Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Now for more App State Hoops talk, here's Matt Present.
Welcome back to the show. It's Mountaineer Talk, presented by UNC Health Blue Ridge. Head coach Alaura Sharp alongside, and we've talked about your successful start to Sun Belt play, and you alluded to the fact that motion offense isn't the easiest to catch on to, particularly when you have an entirely new team. What's the process for you in terms of how you teach to be able to not only have it be digestible, but to be able to still be successful as the team is learning?
Well, the first thing that you've got to get them to do is just slow down and read the floor. They've got to catch the ball and not put it down right away because it's more of a reaction type of offense, teaching them the spacing spots. And for 5 games, it didn't look like we had spacing spots. I mean, we were running mosh pit style of offense, but it's definitely getting more spaced, opportunities for drivers. But then you start teaching the actions that you want to play and how to read your defense within those actions. And then you continue to layer concepts and right now we're working on pushing it a little bit more in transition. We're playing really free and really confident. I think a lot of that's been Eliana Tafisi. She's been great after coming off of her injury, and she's really leading the way and has been a floor general for us, and that has really helped with our offensive tempo and spacing.
You mentioned having fun winning last segment. One thing that I've learned that entails is post-game ice cream. Where does that tradition come from?
Yeah, I don't know. It's something that we started a couple years ago when I was at Presbyterian, and they just so look forward to it. And sometimes you hear them breaking huddles, and I just knew that was something that was kind of fun and unique to our program. And so we wanted to start doing it here. And they got really lucky Saturday because we pulled in somewhere that had a crumble and a Baskin Robbins, so they got to pick what their sweet treat was going to be. But at South Alabama, I kind of hit the players' hands, when they're running back to the locker room, and a couple of them were like, ice cream. So
So
kind of fun.
They know the incentive now.
They do.
You talk about your success at Presbyterian, making the NCAA tournament last year, and I think anytime you're going from one school to a different school, it's a new conference, it's a new team, it's a new landscape, but I'm sure there are things that you take with you from your success. What do you take with you most from Presbyterian?
Well, yeah, I mean, every program comes with a little bit of trial and error, but I think just knowing who you are as a coach and knowing how you can be successful and what types of players work with you and what type of players that work within your system. And that's the nice thing about taking over a program that only had 5 players is you're able to go and hand select players that fit more within your system, as opposed to when I took over at Presbyterian, I pretty much didn't have scholarships for 2 years. It felt like, because the portal wasn't a thing. And so we really kind of leaned into that piece of it. But knowing who you are as a leader, being confident in who you are and what you do. Obviously, our zone defense is something that is starting to really take shape and starting to become something that we've really leaned on in these first 3 wins. And that's starting to look more comfortable for, I remember at Miami of Ohio, we were running all over the place and shooters were wide open everywhere. We didn't know how to transition D, and now our bumps are really quick. The kids like it. They're bought into it. We're starting to rebound better out of our zone. And so I'll continue to evolve, though, as a coach. I mean, the game changes every single year, and I pride myself on being a student of the game and continue to grow as a basketball coach as well.
One of the really cool things that you guys had at a home game, I guess it was against Arkansas State right before the New Year's, you had the annual teddy bear toss. And not only is it a fun spectacle for fans to be able to come and participate, but it really goes a long way in helping some Boone families in need. What does it mean to you to be able to carry on that tradition?
I love that. I mean, there's a picture that someone took of everyone kind of in the middle of their throw and seeing where their teddy bear landed, and I love that. I mean, obviously giving back and serving the Boone community is something that we take a lot of pride in as a program, and especially in the hurricane and being able to help families after that. It just means a little bit more, I feel like, this year.
And you talked about trying to learn from your players, your returners, about the team and about Boone and about App State. In your short time, what do you feel like you've learned most about this Boone community?
The pride. I mean, there's no question about it. Recruits' families will ask us that, and there's just something about the black and gold that bleeds throughout the Boone community. I mean, it just even during the hurricane, and the home center was turned into a Red Cross shelter in like 24 hours, and going to the church and helping Reggie and just seeing all the other programs and people stepping up and serving and helping. There's just so much pride in the mountains, and walking through the airport, people recognizing App State and saying roll nears, yelling at us across the App State or across the airport, and taking pictures with our team, and this is my favorite team, and people really look up to the Block A, and just really proud to be the women's coach here and to represent that.
That's awesome. Big week ahead. Excited for you guys to be back at home. Excited to have fans get to see what this team is made of and the hot streak that you guys are on. And it starts on Thursday with Education Day. What are you most looking forward to in what's sure to be a lively environment?
I love education games. It's something that's important to me that we continue that tradition here. I just think, as a young child, being able to be exposed to college athletics is huge, and it could be a moment that those kids remember forever and maybe influence them later in their life to maybe want to be a college athlete themselves. And I love the energy. I agree with what Emily said. Sometimes they might be cheering for the wrong team, but I'm just proud and excited to have people in the stands and be loud. And obviously we have a strong opponent coming in, and we're excited to have a loud crowd and some juice in the building for that game.
Well, and you guys are on a roll, and you guys have a ton of depth right now. 13th most bench points in the entire country. 2 big games at home following a 3-0 start. What's the message as we part here on Mountaineer Talk?
I think just continuing to grow. I still think there's more in us. There's still better basketball inside of us. There's a lot of things we got to continue to do, and we've got to, whether we win, lose, or draw, we've got to walk into practice with the same chip on our shoulder and a get better mentality. And the theme that I've been using a lot with our team is because of our bench depth. And I mean, on Saturday, I was like, I just kept subbing until I found someone that was going to impact the game, and it was Jamani Ingram, as we're just kind of trying to team them and team scheme teams to death by using all of our depth and our weapons, and it's a lot to manage as a coaching staff because everyone wants a lot of shots and everyone wants a lot of playing time, but I think our team has bought into that and really just wants to find a way to win and make the Boone community proud.
Appreciate it, Coach. Best of luck this week.
Thank you.
That's Alaura Sharp joining us here on Mountaineer Talk, and we know you're enjoying your time here at River Street Ale House, but also make sure to check out Town Tavern Blowing Rock for a great dining experience. They're open for lunch, dinner, and later, and have 19 flat-screen TVs for you to catch the game. They also boast the largest outdoor dining area in the high country, so make sure to stop by Town Tavern Blowing Rock on your next trip to Boone. We will wrap up Mountaineer Talk right after this.
A winning team.
All right, wrapping up Mountaineer Talk. Thanks again for being with us here at River Street Ale House in Boone. Busy week at home. The men against Coastal on Thursday at 6:30, and then on Saturday against JMU at 1. The women with the Education Day game Thursday at noon against Troy, and then they face Coastal at 3:30 on Saturday. Since 1981, Mountaineer Mania has been Boone's one-stop shop for all of your App State gear. The largest selection of tailgating supplies, hats, and one-of-a-kind apparel. Mountaineer Mania has something for everyone. Alumni-owned and operated. Make sure your next trip to Boone includes a visit to Mountaineer Mania. Thanks so much for joining us here on Mountaineer Talk. Thanks to Andrew Allison back inside our Learfield studios. We will see you next Monday back here at River Street Ale House. So long, everybody.